All right, we're rolling again. Sorry about the little delay here. This is our brewery. This is the brew house. Like I said, it's a 10 hectoliter brew house originally. It sits up here right behind the bar. There are 3 vessels here, and I could go through the brewing process, but you can find that all online. What we've got here are the ones with the cones at the bottom. Those are the fermenters. 3 fermenters, and then the rest are 3 aging tanks and 4 dispensing tanks that you can see. The original brewery was really designed to brew about 3 times a week. It was designed so that we'd have about 5 different types of beer, a light and dark, and then somewhere in between. It was really in the mid-90s, that was kind of where brewing was at that time. We didn't feel that we'd ever need more than about 250, 300 seats. And, that obviously didn't prove adequate. We became much busier than we thought we'd be. Let me show you our first edition is over here. This originally is our malt room, where we kept all the bags of malt here. And this first edition was 2,000 liter tanks. So you can see, as they say here, 2,000 liter dispenser, storage and dispensing tanks here as well. This room allowed us to make lagers, which take about twice as long to make as ales do. And it allowed us to expand our brew menu to about 6 to 8 beers to have on draft all the time. But that wasn't even good enough. We took over some space next door and expanded kind of from 400 seats, and we'll go this way, 400 seats to about 600 seats, and eventually 800 seats. And so for that, we ended up with 3,000 liter tanks wedged into the back here. This was the only part of the building we're on top of a parking garage. So this is the only part of the building that could actually support these tanks. And that's why they're here. As you can see, there's a fermenter, 2 storage tanks for that. These we can double brew into. And as this went along, we continued to be more and more and more popular. We got to the point where we were making about 9,000 liters of beer a week. And that meant that we were doing at least 9 brews. So let me take you out here. Go back again. So with these 9 brews that we were doing, we were able to have 12 different beers on tap at all the time. But we had the opportunity to open up a new restaurant out at the indoor stadium. And we couldn't do it without expanding the brewery once again. And that would have meant putting tanks into this area here that you can see, redistributing everything because we didn't know whether the floor would support it or not. We had to get opinions on it. And basically what we would be doing is removing revenue-producing seats to make more beer. And that seemed like kind of a silly thing to do. So the first thing we tried to do was adjust the prices. Business still continued to grow. Out at the indoor stadium, we thought it would be more of a central kitchen. Business continued to grow out there, and all at once, what Sherry calls the aha moment for me was when I realized that the next pint was going to cost us $1 million. And by that I mean we ended up that we had to build a new brewery. There was just no other way around the capacity issue. So now we have another brewery that's 2.5 times the size of the original brewery. It's out in an industrial estate, and we can produce a lot more beer. Perhaps now our biggest problem is that we have a lot more capacity than we actually really need. But it's a better problem, I think, than not having quite enough. So that's the story of our capacity issues here at Brewerkz. It's Devin Kimball talking to you from Singapore, and I guess it's going into our evening. So have a great rest of your day.